this thing that we normalize before we get married. We normalize having the strippers. We normalize saying, hey, get your last piece before you say I do. And now you're bringing that into your covenant, trying to unravel what you just did the night before you take the most beautiful step and create a covenant with a woman, but you bringing that into it less than 24 hours prior. Why do you think that is?
I think that
because everybody want to live a lie. That's why. Okay, everybody want to live a lie. I got my views on rather everybody cheat or not, and I'ma stand on it. Everybody out here cheating. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody cheat. Everybody got a cheating story. Everybody been cheated on. Cheat. Can't escape it.
Well, before we got married, we dated in high school. And in high school, I knew that I was number one, but I knew when I met him, he told me, you're my starter, but I got other ones on the bench, And what else would you tell me, baby?
That you my point guard.
Yes. And that you love me.
But I like them.
Right. So I was in a relationship that was, I was okay.
Now listen. I give him a little credit for being honest, because he could have been like the rest of the dudes his age, Oh, baby, you the only one. I got eyes for you, you know what I'm saying? I don't see nobody else. But he was honest. He's like, hey, I love you, shorty. I'm rocking with you, Yerman, but I got them holes on the side. Hey, he was real. I give him his props for that.
Okay with as long as I was first. And there's a reason for that. I want, the women to know out there, I didn't know Jesus. I didn't, know who I was. What'd you say, babe? I had no value.
You had no value. You had no worth.
He said you didn't know your self-worth.
Damn, no value, no worth.
Right.
And I'm 17.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm a teenager. And I was preconditioned to think this way because my mother divorced my father for infidelity. And I'd always thought if you could just forgive him, our family would stay together.
Oh, that's deep.
So that was not a deal breaker for me, as long as I knew about it. Now, he knows if I found out about it, we'd have a problem.
But if he told you in advance, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, before he married me, he's like, I don't know if I'll ever be faithful. And I said, that's okay. So I walked down the aisle knowing I was...
Well, hey. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I ain't gonna hold you. You don't find too many people who are just gonna lay it out on the table like that. Hey, I can't promise you I'll be faithful, baby. What you doing? You staying or you leaving? So you gotta give him his props for just keeping it all the way 100. You gotta give him the props, man. You gotta give him the props for just being real. Cause most people ain't gonna keep it this G like that. Just being real with you. That's why we got so many stories of women messing around with the DL men, cause they ain't about to keep it real. Be like, hey, yeah, I love you, but I may like to get my little booty poked every now and then. They ain't gonna keep it G. So it's like, which kind of man would you want? You want a man who just gonna lay it out on the table like this? Or you want somebody gonna lie to you? What you want?
Was marrying his worst, meaning that if he were to do something, the worst would be him stepping out.
And then in your marriage, were y'all faced with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How soon?
Oh, from the gate.
Yeah.
By you knowing this man was like this,
right?
What made you decide to marry him?
I thought that the title husband would change him. I did. I walked in thinking that if he was my husband and I was his wife, that a title could make you change. I learned very quickly that titles do not make people change.
Hell no.
And I also thought that if he would own me, I wanted to be Mrs. Steele. If he had ownership, then he would treat me accordingly.
Oh, God.
I had to learn that way that wasn't true either. And so I really, I just knew that if we could just be united, that would make a man change, but it doesn't. And plus, I needed to change also. We were two teenagers getting married and radically saved, going to church, living for Jesus, just changed his life completely. And then after we got married, about a couple months after we got married, he looked at me and said, I never had fun. And I didn't know what that meant.
an
And
adult.
literally, he backslid for 5 years.
Yeah.
So he left his holy life.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, bro. I'm gonna tell the whole. I haven't even made it through the whole video, and I'm gonna tell you like this. This is a product of when you get into a relationship at 17, 18, you fresh out of high school. This is the product of that. So when people say, hey, yeah, find your spouse early in life, 19, 20, 21, this is what you're going to get. And then you're going to get somebody saying, I never had fun. You goddamn right you ain't have fun. Bitch, about 19, 20, you just getting started with life. Life really don't start until you graduate from high school and you start to go through the changes of, 21, 22. You may go to college, may not. You're jumping into the work field. Life really don't start until you really start to get deep into your 20s. So you goddamn right you ain't have no fun. And that's why, me personally, I wouldn't recommend nobody get into no relationship 19, 20, and then talking about getting married? Married at 19, 20? Hell no. Bitch, you boy, listen. Man, listen, bro, y'all tripping. And the reality is, if you want to get married 19, 20, you want to be in a relationship 21, 22, this is what you need to look forward to. This is the real. You thinking somebody 17, 19 gonna be faithful? The joke is on you, cause bitch, you're losing your mind.
At that time, I was chasing with knives, trying to jump on hoods of cars, fighting with women. That was kind of a common thing. We were living in Section 8 housing on food stamps, having children, and it got so crazy that one day I said, I can't do this anymore because someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to either go to jail or get killed. Seriously.
So basically, Jasmine Sullivan, I broke the windows out your car was a theme
Absolutely.
song.
Absolutely. No problem.
You over here jumping on hoods.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a true
Finding
story.
him at clubs, confronting just the whole thing.
So help me understand that. So what happened to where you find yourself on the hood? He's in the car?
Yeah, trying to leave.
Oh, so
And
he's in the car. He ain't with the woman.
No.
She would sometimes hide my keys and help me look for him. That's how bad it was.
You would hide the keys and help him look.
Yes, be hunting. Where could they be?
And then and then back then,
Young and immature, man.
you didn't have GPS. We didn't have cell phones.
No.
And so my friends would be like, hey, Reggie, man, your wife found us. She went in the club.
Yeah.
How would you find them?
I had mental GPS.
All my friends call her.
That's right. Well,
they call her to this day, Detective Kelly.
I can find anything. I would check mileage. I'd find hairs in the car. Whose hair is this?
Hair fibers.
Yeah.
You missed your college. You supposed to work.
Now this is my thing. If he already came in the gate telling you he ain't gonna be faithful, girl, why you doing all this? You already know what it is. This don't make no sense. He already say, hey, I can't promise you I'll be faithful. You say, okay. So why you jumping on cars, popping up at the club? Why you doing all this when you already know what it is? So it sounds like to me you tried to convince yourself that you was really cool with it, but technically, deep down in your heart, you wasn't okay with it. You really wanted him to not be out there like that, but for whatever reason, you stayed with him. But if you're going to stay with somebody, even when they told you they're not going to be faithful, you should not be out here embarrassing yourself looking crazy. But you're supposed to be in the house. And when he get there, he get there. Why? Because you signed up for that because he told you he wasn't going to be faithful.
there telling me I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you.
Right.
I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this. But once I knew who I was, I realized, oh, the enemy's after him. So I began to pray for him, not for my husband before, but as a soul. I didn't want him to be lost. Whether we made it or not, I didn't want him to be lost. I wanted him to be in his purpose because of that one dream I had that lasted about 2 seconds.
And this is all true.
This is my thing. Girl, you're doing all this. You're ironing his clothes for his little side pieces. You're praying for him. What you doing for yourself? What you like to do? You so invested in this man. You don't even know what you like. Your whole existence is, let me make sure my man good. So if that means I got to iron his little clothes, spray a little starch, then iron the clothes, make sure he nice and crisp and clean for them hoes out there, I'ma do that. No. See, this is when I look at her, she give me, I don't know who I am. That's what she give me. She don't know who she is. She give me, women back in the day, their whole life, their whole existence was just being a mother, being a wife, and the man just go out, have fun, do what he want to do. And she laid up in the house just waiting for him to get back. See, women, y'all gotta find a goddamn hobby. Girl, get the knitting sweaters or something. You can't just be so invested into your man. Like, yeah, okay, that's your husband. Take care of your man when it's time to take care of him. But damn, you are an individual before you enter into a marriage. Don't lose sight of that. Too many people lose sight of who they are before they get into the relationship. Yeah, you're going to shift a little bit because now it's not just about you. You with somebody else, but damn.
So weeks later, now I'm coming home 2-3 days later, and she's like, what do you want for dinner?
Yep.
You're like, I don't know if I'm going to eat that. You're going to poison me.
I said, she's going to kill me.
No. Well, okay. Now, see, here's the thing. Even though he's very transparent and honest, the disrespect for me is him coming in 2-3 days later. Coming in the house 2-3 days later is the ultimate disrespect. It's like, you know your woman looking for you, bruh. You could have been in a car crash, anything. And you don't have the respect enough to go home at a reasonable time. You just out doing your... Man, listen, bro. That right there would have sent me. Oh, okay. Not only is you out there cheating, but you ain't coming home 2-3 days later? Oh, all right. Bet.
Right. Now I'm sleeping with one eye open.
Yes, I'd run his bath
You're acting too nice right now.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute now. You know, I've been gone for 72 hours.
Yes.
Why are you treating me nice?
Right.
You want to, and then I'm looking to make sure she don't throw grease on me.
Right.
All of that. But then I started waking up with crosses on my head.
Because the mothers of the church said, pray for him with anointed oil. And I couldn't afford olive oil, so I just got the Crisco at home and blessed it. And I just put it on his head and his hands and his feet. He wake up all greasy.
Yeah.
Looking like 3-day-old chicken.
Right.
Greasy and hungover. He'd be like, what are you doing?
And then she...
So you mean to tell me them old assholes in the church told you to do all that? Oh, just pray for him, girl. Put the crosses, the holy water, and all that. Girl, you ain't about to do a seance. Your man out there swinging that iron between his legs and putting all of them women.
Yeah.
There was even one time one of his girlfriends came to my job to confront me because she found out about me, and I'd be like, "Chick, I'm the wife." But anyway, she asked.
She came to confront you.
Oh no. Oh no. See, that's what I'm saying, bruh. That's what I'm saying. The disrespect is, nigga, you out there slinging that iron, and you ain't got your hoes in check. You got your hoes hitting up your wife, talking about, oh yeah, I'm the girlfriend. No, man, you supposed to tell your mistress, whatever, hey, don't you ever get on my wife top like that. Bitch, you get on my wife top, but you gonna have to go. He let them girls disrespect his wife, man. Oh no, bro. Oh no, bro. Hell nah. He ain't got no respect for Shorty. That's what it is. Cause ain't no way. Alright, you out there in them streets. You got your little side pieces. Whatever. But damn, you ain't even got the respect enough to make sure they know not to get out of pocket. You got your wife having to tell them, well, girl, I'm the wife. I'm the main one. She shouldn't even have to be opening her mouth telling them that. They should already know what it is.
She did.
She found out
She found out about me.
She had to explain to
And
her,
I
I
said,
work
listen,
two jobs.
I go, why would I get rid of him?
He works
two jobs. Sometimes you can't afford divorce. I'm like, he's making rent. You know, we got to work this out.
Can't afford to get divorced. You know, being broke will have you in situations that you know you want to get out of, but because you can't financially afford to detach from this person, you do what? You stay. Why? Because rent due. She just said it. She can't afford to pay the rent on her own, so what she do? She gonna have to stay. Listen. Don't ever put yourself in a position to where if this shit don't work out, I can't afford to leave you. No, you put yourself in a position to where if this don't work out, I'm going to be good without you.
I got a call for armed robbery in process. I got the canine, the air unit, set up a perimeter. We were chasing him. We pulled the car over, arrested them, and it was him.
And my cousin. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Kermit the Frog at this moment. This is T.
Boy, he was a wild one, eh? A wild
Yeah.
boy.
Did you say you got the call and it was him?
It was him committing armed robbery.
Yeah.
We caught him. And he was arrested.
I was arrested, me and my cousin.
Yep. So he is now facing 7 to 21 years in prison.
Yeah.
7 to 21.
I got off the floor, told my sergeant what happened because I didn't want to lose my job because you can't be married to a criminal.
Right.
And I'm like, I didn't know what he was doing. And my first thought was, who has my kids? Because it was 3 a.m.
I
But
had my baby sister. She would come in and watch the kids while I'm out.
he robbed people.
And I kept a few dollars in her pocket.
Oh, this is an ongoing thing you used to do. She just never knew that you was robbing.
No.
Yeah,
didn't know.
It's ongoing.
It had no idea because he was a psych tech during the day and a robber at night.
Yeah.
Call about double-minded. This is why.
Oh, Jesus, you know. This man was out there cheating, robbing, the standards for her was so low to the ground. Wow.
And speaking of purpose, see, I think part of the problem with a lot of people that are married or not married, they're looking more for preference over purpose. I believe that this is my purpose.
Right.
Because she really wasn't my preference.
I wasn't. knew I wasn't his preference. My husband dated little Latina girls with long hair and big titties.
You gotta remember, I'm from Arizona.
In fact, when he first met me, he's like, you're cute, but you're a little heavier than what I'm used to. And I go, well, what are you used to? He's like, I'm used to, $1.20, $1.25. I said, well, I'm almost $2. So I don't know what to say here.
Y'all accept somebody telling y'all, I ain't really attracted to you like that, but I'll take you. If y'all accept that, baby. I never accept somebody telling me, I ain't really into you like that, but, I guess. You guess? Bitch. Oh, no. Hell nah.
Because I'm not his preference don't mean he's not going to, like this. I mean, he's been coming back for 32 years.
Yeah, 35 this
years.
December if you add up the other years.
But some people may look at that as you have low self-esteem.
Probably, maybe. And like you said, I had no value, had no worth. And I said that from the beginning. I said, I didn't know who I was. And I was just very, open and honest about that.
And you still don't know why, because you always been big bone. And that's what it's giving. You always been big bone. You always been a girl that the dudes probably looked over. So you like, well, shit, I ain't really his type, but hell, I got a man. I finally got somebody to look at me and want to jump on me and sex me up, and now you happy. Are you really happy? Or is you just complacent? Cause a
lot of stuff that y'all are saying is going to trigger a lot of women. They're going to look at it like, see, that's that struggle love they talking about. I don't want it.
Right.
I don't want the struggle of, I don't want to have to deal with a man that has to go through all that and me lower my standard, lower my value, lower everything that I know that I am as a woman to work through the cultivation of a man. For a man to be in this broken state, disrespectful, calling me out my name, parading women in front of me, and then I'm going to pray for his deliverance and pray, no, God, I need the reformed man. Bring me the man that after he's been set free and delivered. I don't want that process.
They want that finished product.
So my question to you, because
But what's wrong with that though? What's wrong with a woman saying, I want somebody who have done the work on themselves? Because when she got with him, he was so young. The work has yet to become. It didn't start yet. He was so damn young. So she went through it with him instead of having a period in her life where she's single and she allowed a man to come into her life who had already done the work and now he's ready to be a husband and blah, 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 blah. See, they about to say some bull. They about to say women, oh, no, bruh. It's okay to find somebody who have done the work on themselves.
You say to the women that may be looking at this and say, see, that's that nonsense they talking about?
Well, I would say that's why you're single still. Because I'm sure somebody had been in your life already.
You're gonna pick the fight.
And you didn't want to give the investment for that person to become somebody, and then you lost them probably a long time ago.
Well, baby, if they lost them, it was a good thing. What's wrong with being single? What's wrong with it? Why we don't glorify being single and at peace with yourself? Why would I tell you, if y'all huffering, don't your ass take no advice from her. Don't you take not one advice from her. She couldn't even tell me how to cook. I don't even want it. I don't want it. You can't tell me nothing, man. Nothing at all.